Hello again, Glittrip here, aka the original card game for the win. And we're having a Friday Night Magic at home, but I'm going to kind of show how I alternate between my Hunger and Thirst deck in Brawl format and in Standard, because right now I got it basically in a Standard format, but it's not just Standard, it's 2021 Standard, so there's going to be like nothing from 2020 set or or just some of the others that were considered part of that cycle, because this is an event that's also heralding in the swap over to the 2021 standard format that we're going to be having soon, which is slightly ahead of the actual year because we're still in 2020, not 2021. But there's a few things that are definitely there. Like I had to not only get anything that was below a certain uh, set, but I also had to swap out my Cauldron Familiar because it's legal in Brawl, but not in straight Standard. So there goes my kitty again. Now the thing is that there are a lot of sets that were released in 2020 that are going to be part of this cycle, including, of course, 2021, as I said, released ahead of the actual year. Anything that has the MTG Arena symbol is considered eternal format and is legal everywhere, basically. So my Sanitarium skeleton, which first actually showed up in, I think, Shadows over Innistrad, is here in a straight-up arena. I guess this is considered one of the most balanced cards of all time in Black, because for something to get that symbol, it has to be considered so perfectly balanced out that it will probably just be that way permanently. So, yeah, I can see that as one of the few that just, even though it does have a ability to return to your hand ability, it's not really crazy enough or easy enough to work with that they consider that just plain fair. Also, we're going to have anything that is from Throne of Eldraine, anything from Ikoria. Those two sets will be in the 2021 cycle. So that's going to be another really major deal. Also, there's going to be some things that are coming up that's not quite here yet that will be. Also, anything from Theros Beyond Death will also be considered part of this cycle, so I'll be able to wield my Shadow Spear. Now, some of these things I might swap around, but I'm not entirely sure, because right now I've got things temporarily rebalanced. Now, also, again, note that shrines are going to be a big deal this time, so I've got one of the shrines in. I went just absolutely nuts on that with my uncommons when I had the opportunity, as I may have did on screen, I'm not sure. And one of the big... Oh, Savage Gorger, I was kind of worried would be not able to be in Hunger and Thirst anymore, but turns out they eternalized the card in terms of being a MTG Arena a card rather than just its other sets, which it's appeared more than one, so apparently they're thinking this one's also pretty good all around for a good vampire card, so yeah. Let's see here. Again, there's some things I had to pop out because I had Dovahkiin, I had Storev, Deverkin Lich here originally, but I can't do that because they're rotating out all of the most recent block of Ravnica. So he's not in there. There's some other things that were also from that I had in here previously. I gotta admit, it's a bit of a blow that I can't have my Leyline Prowler here, because it was really good overall. Death Touch, Lifelink, and the ability to make a mana of any color for tapping it. It was a really great card. And it was like a Nightmare type creature as well. I think it was like a Nightmare Beast or something. But, so it would have fit in with a lot of other things, but again, the formatting shift. So, yeah. So I was just going over how this is basically my other deck, but I've also had Garruk switched from commander position to being normal, and the format changed from Brawl to Standard. And you can see how, as I said here, like certain sets plus anything that's been eternalized will be considered here. Now, they don't have some some things from 2021 here yet because they're not here yet. So it's not like we're going to say, oh, and for this event you can have things from Zendikar Rising. Nope, that set's not actually been released yet, so it's not here in the format. So we'll see more of that later. For now, I'm going to play, in essence, basically my Brawl deck, but not in Brawl format. Sort of. I'm going to have to adjust some things back at some point, and then back again because of rotation. So I'll see how that goes over time. Although I gotta admit, I think having like a Singer Vampire in, which has been in previous sets before for a long time, and now has been in Eternalized form for MTG Arena, I think that's kind of interesting. Now, one problem is, about certain things, I'll probably need to moor them more often. That's a bit more like it. Keep 6. Turtle Rock. Okay. Somebody is a classic Zelda game fan. So that's interesting to note. Is Turtle Rock. Again, had to be classic Zelda game fan. I know that. Because Turtle Rock was one of the main dungeons you had to go into at some point in, I think it was A Link to the Past, but I think it also featured into Link's Awakening. Not as heavily as in A Link to the Past, but it was there in both. Somewhat different both, but you had a dungeon named Turtle Rock in both. Again, it was more appropriate and perfect for it in A Link to the Past. Oh, you're gonna take that. Immediately. That's what you call instant karma. I mean, it's literally designed for instant karma. That's literally what it's there for. But yeah, I've got at least... I think I've got a quest going right now for red or black, so we'll see if I get more black-related stuff in here. Oh, the Bolt Hound. Is running. Well, I'd like to take you down with it, so yeah. You are definitely the one that needs to go first, because that boosts. Food. You know, I originally made this deck around the concept of hunger and thirst, so here come the food tokens. Now, if you can get a 4th swamp, or like or if I could get like a forest or 2, that would be nice. Although I'm because Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose is actually particularly good. And again, you saw the absolutely crazy thing that happened. That was interesting. Thank you. Just Gonna be a little back and forthage, but we'll see. Again, I'm just kind of casually fulfilling some, quests here while I'm waiting to see if I can get a couple of the extra cards. Ah, I said a Fedora Swamp would be nice. Deathless Knight or Revision Ravens. I think I'll just attack him this turn. Just need to make sure he doesn't fully power up that. What is up with the extra use of this? I mean, seriously. What's super black here? Don't need to attack yet, but when I get my Bognaughty out, that ought to help. Because flying is always nice. Yeah, this is one of those times where, although I'm playing a bicolor deck, I'm getting almost exclusively on one side. Although that one does count a little differently. Seriously? You're trying to commit to that many attacks? Well. This could be interesting. Let's see how well this actually comes out. They're not exactly going to kill themselves, but they're going to leave me a wide opening. And that one ability only acts until end of turn, so they may have miscalculated. Then again, they might be able to do something. Okay, so they were able to, but that was really narrow. And again, I'm mainly just doing some casual questing here. But if I happen to get something through, that would be nice. Okay, how much out of it was that? Oh, 6 out of 30. That's actually kind of nice. That was a good chunk of it there. Again, playing bicolor deck. Didn't really expect to get that many in one round. It normally takes several games to really get one that big, because it's like 30 of them. If I was playing specifically red and black, I would do it a lot faster, but I'm not doing that right now. It was kind of funny how fast that came out. Now this is good opening, because I can immediately play some stuff. Hello, lethal rats. Okay. we go. This could help me play the Great Hinge later, if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky, he'll get enough power to bring that cost down and actually pull it off. But we'll see. That'll only last limited time there. There's more than one way to feed. Gonna have to get my, Okay, I can fulfill it pretty soon, but I need to get an extra food token in between rounds. Because if I do, then I'll be able to also, be able to afford it by... Now he might attack with that. Let's just see. Of course, if I get enough power, I won't necessarily need to worry about it. But we'll see. Because Savvy Hunter, whenever she attacks or blocks, I can get a food token. So then I'd have just enough for the Great Hinge, even if I don't get, like, enough counters in between. I'd love to play the Great Hinge. The Great Hinge is just awesome. I mean, there's reasons why it's a mythic rare legendary artifact. It also goes on a special theme with Throne of Eldraine, that there's one special legendary colored artifact for each color, and they're all, like, very thematically appropriate for their for their colors. The Great Hinge is just ridiculously good for green. And there's like a lot of lore around it, like in a lot of quotes in Throne of Eldraine you'll see something say that's from a group of stories known as Beyond the Great Hinge. So you know it factors in pretty heavily there. And that's kind of cool. I got the Great Hinge itself. Also, another thing that I got, like, several times over was the Cauldron of Eternity, and the funny thing is I don't think I've actually, like, truly used it in a deck yet. And yet, it's, like, the big focus of the, knights that are, associated with black in Throne of Eldraine, which is Lochthwain. Lochthwain is, like, their whole thing is they're searching for... I could kind of do a bit of both. Is basically they're questing for the ancient artifact known as the Cauldron of Eternity, because apparently it belonged to them a long time ago and got lost. And it was literally just like lost in the woods and nobody knew where it went. So they're like, where is this thing we've been searching so long for? So it's like the whole time they're trying to retrieve it. So each of the like main colored artifacts is a big deal to their faction in Throne of Eldraine. Like the Circle of Loyalty, that's well maintained in Ardenvale. In Ardenvale, like it's like how the knights are together is the Circle of Loyalty. It's just kind of like the Round Table of the Knights of the Round Table. So it's a big deal to him. Okay, next round I should be able to pull it off. Assuming there's not some enormous field sweeping destruction, which has happened before, might I add. In fact, if they used that one card that lets you choose odd, they'd pretty much wipe my creatures. Of course, and theirs would be fine, because it chooses odd or even, and then everything of odd or even converted mana cost is just exiled. So that would just wipe my group. But there's always a lot of luck in Magic the Gathering too. Like, even if they have the card, they have to have it in their hand and be able to afford it. I forget how much it is for converted mana cost wise. Like, do they even have enough to throw that out? No, it's a black spell. I'm just trying to remember how expensive it was. Just in general, like, is it above or below 4 converted mana cost? Apparently they do not have it because they decided that they could not do anything in the next few rounds, so they exited the premises. I'd say that's fair. I mean, I never go out even if the situation is pretty dire. Lure of the Unknown. Okay. Got a little something from Theros Beyond Death there. Build top 6 cards of your library. An opponent exiles a non-land card from among them. Then you put the rest into your hand. That opponent may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So they get one of the cards that you grab, but you get the rest. And they get it like kind of in a special way. So that's that one could certainly be said to have an element of risk. But this event ain't over until you, well, it's not even over after you get the 2 wins. I mean, you can just play it to play it afterwards. Just like a lot of events, actually. At least the ones that don't require a buy-in. But, well, even some of those you can keep playing after quite some time, so. Okay, let's go here. I have a forest off the bat. I don't know if I'm going to need a second one or not, but if I do, I can get to play questing these. I'm doing the exact same opening I did last time, but to be perfectly fair, the way I curve my decks, I kind of expect that to happen pretty frequently. Hard to kill. We'll see about it. You have that little thing there. Come on, I said swamp. Swamping. Something that's gonna sound... I don't even know. Like, seriously, would that be a bad expression? Swamp. It sounds like you're invoking them to hit you, but not exactly the same. Would that be more like swamp? And even then, that's more of a Mario reference. So wouldn't it be more bump me that would be the weird hit me? If that dies, they're gonna pay for it. They paid for it. Again, the death of that one will always be instant. Hello. Of course, Vito can't block either of them because even though he's a vampire, he doesn't have what they call the gift of exaltation. In other words, the ability to fly. That's interesting lore in and of itself that vampires would have to. Adds 2 damage, so they're gonna have it over. I kind of tried throwing out Bastion Removements first. But, sometimes it goes one way, sometimes it goes the other. As I said, luck-based. Speaking of luck, or I said I just needed a little bit to play questing-based. Or should I give him weakish. Yeah, I'll strike it now, because he has vigilance. And haste. What I like to call awe. These creatures with power 2 or less can't block them at all. In combat damage that would be dealt to creatures you control, including them, cannot be prevented. And whenever it deals an actual player, if they have any planeswalkers, you can choose to deal that much damage to one planeswalker they control, which is hilarious. Oh, they tossed it back in my hand. On the other hand, this also means I'll be able to bop them again with it very specifically. A very, very heavy, like, spell slinger style deck, like instants and sorceries. There's a lot of those that are, I guess, I'd like to call Izzet style, which is that it's like a red-blue deck, very heavy on spells, that are like instants and sorceries, and also pretty heavy on flying. So I've seen a lot of those decks around. It does not surprise me at all that that they had one of that style. So I've seen that type a lot, like very frequently. And I can certainly say it takes a bit more luck to get around them because they have to kind of choke out early, or you have to just be able to absolutely blitz them early. One or two, either of which takes a lot of luck. Mining. They're both gonna have the same opening, which is kind of funny. It's like, hello, we're both using Scenting of Stone Fangs. But seeing how they kind of limited what you could use for this event, it's not that bad. Because, again, it could only be, like, things from certain things will already be here after the next rotation. It's kind of funny, because it has to be a non-creature, non-land card that they force you to discard, there's a chance they can't do anything about it. Except revealing your hand, obviously. Little guy. It's also something that's been in a previous set for quite some time ago. The thing is that they seem to be doing a lot of returning cards in 2021. It's just kind of a theme they got, like Typhoid Rats, both of these are returning. Grasp of Darkness, that's from Battle for Zendikar, I think, maybe? Or was it, was it possibly from another one? Because I know it was either from Battle for Zendikar or Rise of the Eldrazi or something like that. Well, it wouldn't be Rise of the Eldrazi. It was either Battle for Zendikar, or it was from Rise of the Gatewatch? Call the Gatewatch, one of those. So, I'd have to look, because I know that it was in Magic Duels. creature out anyhow. Okay, they gave it power up. However, I do have a move or two I can do. So, Wicked Wolf. Let's show them why you're wicked. Hello? So sacrifice of food, gets +1/+1 counter and indestructible. Kill interfering, but also gets stabbed. Death Touch does not work against creatures that are indestructible. Just like to note that, because they might not realize how that works. Want my Great Hinge, so will I activate again just to prepare for this? Oh, yes. Now, will they want me to deal up 5 points of damage or run over these? So they can power it up to Death Touch and actually work as long as this is not done so. It hasn't powered itself up that turn. I'm going to give him a slight situation. Okay. They just took the hit. So, hello. Now the thing is, we're not technically in a Brawl format right now. So they can have any number of copies of cards, up to 4, as long as they're not a basic land. So, therefore, I don't know if he's actually going to throw out more than one of these shrines. They are uncommon, so they're easy to get a hold of. Ah, they have the Hooded Blightfang. That thing is pretty wicked. That reminds me to actually get this card at some point. Now, do I want to Clackbridge Troll, Elder Gargareth, or Feasting Troll King? You know, I think I'm gonna Feasting Troll King. Yeah. Hey, cancel. Didn't mean to hit that. I did. Choosing him to actually attack. I think they're gonna let him through. I was actually thinking that they wouldn't, but oh well. Yeah, they pulled that back out, but they also had to deal themselves some damage for it, because you have to pay 2 life to do that. It has an ability that lets you pull it back from the grave, but in exchange, you have to pay life for it, so they brought themselves, like, horribly low to do that. Which way do I want to really work this? Because I do have my Clackbridge Troll. I also have Forest. I mean, Veto would be good. He'd amp up the damage, but at the same time, I have other options. Oh, I think they realized that I had too much attack power left, and if I just for a moment gave anything further trample, they would have been unable to do anything about it. So, okay, I see why they noped out. And I had other things I was thinking of doing, like I was thinking maybe of having my Scavenging Ooze munch their graveyard. Gain me some extra life. I mean, there's a reason why I put that in Hunger and Thirst. It's a scavenger, but it's still hungry. Titan's Nest. I forgot that I even actually had a copy of that card already. But, yeah. This is when I'm going meh for a rare. I mean, at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that into your graveyard. If you exile a card from your graveyard, you may add 1 colorless mana. And you can only use this mana to cast a colored spell without X in its mana cost. That's very, very specific. And very limited by comparison. So, again, this is one of the few times that, in a rare card, I'm just going meh. So, yeah, that's one of those that I'm going eh. This is like, I see uses for a lot of things, but even I'm thinking that one is a waste of a rare slot in a set. Just, sorry, I'm not going to use that card. It's just there to be part of my collection. But other than that, it's not going to really do much. Now, I was going to do something. What was it? It was something I was thinking of... Oh yeah! I was thinking of buying the Gingerbrute card style, because this is one that I use pretty often, and I haven't even featured in this deck, so... I mean, I mean, whenever I saw like the trailer for Throne of Eldraine and got to see the teasers for it, I just thought, isn't it great to have a set where you can have the gingerbread man get revenge? So I've kind of got to honor that by actually buying this card style. There's sometimes card styles do interest me, and this is one of them. I mean, the gingerbread man is fast, so this putting it into motion makes more sense with this card. There's some others where I'm going, that's not such a big deal, but for him, yeah, that's totally right on the spot. The gingerbread man looking like he's moving, because he's usually moving very fast. I actually wish it had more blur in it. But anyhow, we've done that little event, and I might do some more of it later. I might do a different run, because again, I have black and red is my major thing, but I'm more than half done right now on that quest, so I'll take care of it at some point soon. But either way, I've got a lot of stuff that I can do. One thing that might interest me is that they're having a decent thing in the draft rotation right now. What I mean by the draft rotation is what they've got currently as draft events. So I might do quick draft Throne of Eldraine, because it's a really cool set that I like, and it factored in here. And right now the price isn't really that bad, so if there's nothing that I'm really interested in the store for a while, then I can actually afford it, because it's only like 500 gold. In fact, I have more than enough gems, but there's something different I want to do with gems, so I want to try to save them up. Also, if I can do this event, I can get some more gems, so that'll add up. And sometimes in the store you can get like straight up gems now. That's for some weird cost in gold, but you can actually do it once in a while. It's specifically in the featured slot and only once in a while. So it's not like all the time. You can't do that maneuver all the time. You have to go indirect most of the time. But yeah, there was something else. Oh yeah, I think it was with Mastery. Yeah, the thing I'd really like to do with gems is get a Mastery Pass at some point. Not necessarily this rotation's Mastery Pass, or this set's Mastery Pass, but a Mastery Pass. I'd like to be able to buy that with gems at some point, just to show that I earned all those gems in ways where I didn't actually pay in regular money, that I was able to truly play to win, and for that matter, play to pay, rather than the other way around. And I think that would be a great thing to do at some point. Now, the thing is, whenever you get it, and they say that, darn lips, whenever you pull this off, I'd specifically mentioned that if you get a Mastery Pass, you also unlock everything that came before whatever level you're on. So, if you're already on a certain level because you've been doing it through, like, straight questing and experience, then whenever you get the Mastery Pass, you'll get everything before it that's specifically on the paid Mastery Pass on this route. So, like, I'd get this really nice dog here. He seems very wolf-like, like an Alaskan Husky or something. And I'd be able to get other things too. Did I see another doggo? Yeah, I saw another doggo. So, if I did get that, I would get a lot of dogs. And I gotta admit, I would be fine with some dogs as, like, possible avatar pets. This one is the most the peaceful pup. Oh my gosh. That's so on the spot. Just the one who loves flowers and butterflies and won't harm a thing. He's just such a peaceful dog. I do like that. I think that one of the people that I was up against had that recently, if not in the event itself. I may have been a little too concentrating on the action. But, yeah. But the point is, I think I actually can pull it off. I think I can get enough gems to actually buy Mastery Pass at some point in the future. Again, maybe not for this set, because it expires in like 19 days. So that'll be up to some insane luck, both in the store and in events like that, if I decide to, because, again, it also depends on if there's stuff in the store I actually want. But will I be able to get Mastery Pass by the time this one's over? I don't know. maybe I'd even enjoy the one for Zendikar Rising more. I'll see. So that's something. So I've had a bit of things here. I've had my Friday Night Magic at home, and I got to show off kind of how I flip around my Hunger and Thirst deck sometimes to go into Standard. And I'll rearrange and rearrange. Like, there's no way that if I go into, if I'm feeling like brawling with it again, that I'm going to leave it as I have right now. Because I'll want my Cauldron Familiar back in. Like, seriously, I love that cat. So I'm totally going to rearrange things back and get some other things back in that I previously had in that's not currently out of rotation yet, and are still able to be played in Brawl. Because I prefer my Haunt of Hightower over Sinjar Vampire. And he's from the new Ravnica block, so therefore he's going to be out of the rotation soon. But I'd like to play him while I still can, because usually he really rocks. So there's some things where I'm certainly saying I can swap cards in and out if I really need to. And as you can see, that helped me win at a Friday Night Magic at Home event. And got a little questing done while I was at it. For now, I'll be logging off. I don't know what is going to come up next. Who knows? Maybe at some point we'll be doing a drafting event for Amonkhet, because they did that have that out initially, and I think you can. Do they have that in draft format now? Well, they have Premier Draft for it, and that's more expensive to go with, so I probably won't with that anytime soon. But if they have Quick Draft, I would be interested. But for now, I think I'll just be logging off, so never know what's going to come up on Magic Gathering for me. But, you know, it was nice to see. For now, I'll be logging off. Hope to hear from y'all later. Oh, there's Zendikar Rising's announcement there. So hope to hear from y'all later. Bye for now, and remember, MTG forever.